Well, one of the things that I was excited about getting you on was, and obviously we'll save our WrestleMania review for some other time because it's definitely not March 26th. But I always loved the fact from back in the TV tracks days how you were very open about your opinions or takes on certain infamous stories. So I've got some of the classics here that I'd love to talk to you about.
Sure.
And plus, due to my uh, contacts and shit, I've heard some shit too about these stories. So I'd love to know your take or your insight on the Macho Man and Stephanie McMahon rumors because I can tell you from what I was told by someone, uh, Macho Man and Vince got into a fight in a bar once, and Vince lost and had been going, oh well, he cheap shotted me. If it was a real fight, a street fight, he would have a chance. And he'd been saying this, and then they fought again in front of people, and apparently Macho Man just kicked the shit out of Vince. And Vince being Vince, he could never live it down, all that shit. That then gets spun into these crazy rumors that that Macho, he got the pin, oh, brother. When she was like 16 fucking years old or whatever. Uh, for me personally, I don't believe that because do you seriously think that Vince would let this giant star go to WCW and not say he fucks kids? So what have you heard and what's your take on the Macho Man and Stephanie rumors?
My opinion on it is this. Um, when that rumor first came out decades ago, because I've been watching wrestling since '79. When that rumor first came out, my reaction to it back then is similar to the reaction that I have now. The first thing I thought about is when I was 16 years old. When I was 16 years old, there were certain women in entertainment that I fantasized about. I think we all have done that at some point, especially when we were a teenager. And the only scenario that I come up with, and again, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to claim news, but my interpretation or my opinion on it is that you have a 16-year-old Stephanie, and she is surrounded by larger than life stars, superheroes, and especially some who might be really genuinely authentic and nice in personal life. And you get an infatuation, you get a teenage crush. And I always thought that I would not doubt that maybe Stephanie had some teenage crushes of some people in wrestling at the time. And who knows, maybe Stephanie kind of was attracted to Macho Man. I do not think that anything ever happened. I do not think that Macho Man tried to go with a 16-year-old. I think if there's anything at all, to me, the most logical scenario would be the opposite, a 16-year-old girl with a teenage crush. I mean, you see on Twitter now, you look at some teenagers. I mean, I don't search them out, but I have fans of my show and they have friends and fans, and some of them are young. And you look at Roman Reigns, for example. Just type in Roman Reigns on Twitter and you'll see tons of 16-year-old girls that have Reigns in their screen name. They'll have Lisa Reigns or Lisa Rollins, or so they have crushes on wrestlers. And if Stephanie had a crush on Macho Man, she had a crush on Macho Man. Maybe they had some conversations where Macho Man never looked at it anything other than talking to the boss's daughter. Yeah. But meanwhile, Stephanie might have, when I grew up, there were TV shows where a teenage kid would have a crush on an older person and not understand that that's something that could never be. So I think maybe other wrestlers may have seen that, and then rumors started to fly that, maybe something happened between the two. I don't think anything ever happened between the two.
And plus, it's been confirmed that there was negotiations for Macho to come back to the WWF in '96, later '96. So that's why I just think it's might be a lot of bullshit.